I'm going to tell you about a girl whose name is Penelope Beatrice Jones. Isn't that kind of a big name?
Yeah.
Penelope Beatrice Jones is kind of a long name. Well, this girl was a bright and very loving girl. She loved God with all her heart. She was a really good girl. And do you guys know, see, her name is Penelope Beatrice Jones. Do you know what her initials stand for? Or stand P, B, J. PBJ. What does that remind you of?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Well, guess what? Penelope loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She absolutely loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Anybody else love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in here? You hate them? Is anybody allergic to peanuts?
Oh, I am.
You're allergic? You're allergic to peanuts? Well, PBJ is what they called her because this is how she got her nickname. Her mom couldn't find her one day, and she was looking all over the house, and she went into the pantry, and there PBJ, or Penelope, was sitting on the floor with a jar of peanut butter and a big spoon. Have you guys ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
And dug your spoon into the peanut butter and
That's what Kira does.
That's what my daughter Kira does. She does that. So her mom gave her she got the nickname PBJ, like peanut butter and jelly, PBJ. So PBJ is her nickname, and she loved peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In fact, at school, her mom made her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for lunch. That's all she ate. She didn't eat all the other school's food. She would only eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In fact, she so loved her peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She would sit in the cafeteria, and all her friends would be talking to her, and she didn't talk to anybody. She didn't listen to anybody. She just ate her peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She was only focused on that sandwich until it was all gone. It was amazing. So she was so focused. Well, it was the beginning of a new school year, and the principal, all the kids were sitting, PBJ is in 3rd grade, like some of you guys are in 3rd grade. She's 8 years old, and she's sitting in her 3rd grade class, and in walks the principal, and he brings in a new girl to the school. How many of you guys have ever seen new kids come into the school, or you've been a new kid? You've been in a new kid? Is it kind of freaky when you walk in and you're the new kid in school?
No, everyone's staring at you.
Yeah. It is kind of freaky. Well, the girl's name is Harriet Ann Matthews. You guys know what her initials stand for?
H-A-M, ham.
Harriet Ann Matthews. What does that stand for?
Ham.
H-A-M, ham. And secretly, Harriet loved ham sandwiches. She loved it. You know, how many of you guys, when you said you've been to the new student, how many of you guys have been shy or scared? Well, this was Harriet. She was so shy and so scared of going to a new school. But you know what, guys? She was not only in a new school, she was in a new city. She had a new life, new friends, and the big one is she had a new family. Understand? She had a new family. You see, Harriet had moved to the city to live with her Aunt Louise. Harriet had a really, really rough home life. Her parents weren't good to her. Sometimes Harriet would go a day or two without seeing her parents or even eating. They would just leave her at home by herself. They would work all day, and then they wanted to go out and party with their friends, and they would leave her there by herself. You know, there's so many times that Harriet was very scared and lonely. Well, one day, one day her Aunt Louise came to visit her. And her Aunt Louise is like, Harriet, this is horrible. You're going to come and live with me. And she was like, oh, that would be great. And so Harriet went to live with her Aunt Louise. And you know, what was so sad is at her old school, the kids made fun of her because of the way she dressed, because she was shy. How many of you guys have ever been made fun of? It's hurtful. Yeah, it's hurtful, isn't it, to be made fun of? Well, she was made fun of. In fact, one day this boy said to her, Harriet, haven't you worn those same jeans every day this week? Don't you know you're supposed to wear different clothes every day to school? Oh boy, that comment, Emily, don't do that.
You can if you want.
That comment.
You can wear the same clothes.
But that comment made her so ashamed. It was so sad. She was so ashamed. You see, most kids, most of you guys, all of you guys, you have loving parents who bring you to church. Maybe, I know Juliana, you have a violin, and Emily's taking piano lessons. And what are you doing?
I'm learning to play the drums.
You're learning to play the drums.
Me too.
And karate. And
Me
What
too.
are you learning to do?
Piano.
See, your guys, what are you learning to do?
Break through walls.
Oh my goodness, see, your parents, they care about you, and they're gonna take care of you. But Harriet, she didn't have that life. Her parents, they left her alone. They didn't care about her. She was lonely, and she didn't feel loved. In fact, all she ever wanted was a friend her own age that she could play with. And Harriet hoped that by the time she moved into her aunt's house, things would be different. Things would be different. Like the kids, she could start over. Nobody knew her. Nobody knew, her past life. And so she could start over. It seems like things will never change unless one person makes the difference. And I'm going to tell you about what happened one day at school that made the difference in Harriet's life. Well, Harriet was sitting, or PBJ was sitting in her usual place in the cafeteria, and she was eating her peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She was going at it. Everybody in the cafeteria is talking and laughing, but not PBJ. She was like, I am eating this sandwich, and nobody's going to bother me. Well, she kind of happened to glance over, and she looked, and she saw Harriet sitting at the table by herself in the cafeteria. How many of you guys think it's really, how many of you guys think it's, scary to sit by yourself in the cafeteria and nobody's...
Not me.
I'm
You want to sit by yourself? Some of you guys do.
7 minutes and 1.
When you get
30
older,
seconds.
and in high school, it kind of gets scary. Well, nobody was sitting by Harriet. In fact, and PBJ thought it was really weird because the first couple of weeks that Harriet was at school, all the kids loved to be around her and hang around her. But then as they got to know her, she was so shy. They didn't like the clothes that she wore. I mean, it was rough. Well, whatever the reason was, it ended up being the same old story. Guys, it was the same old story like at our other school. In fact, one day the kids were playing basketball, and they were all out at recess, and they were playing basketball, and Harriet had the basketball. And Harriet had the basketball, and in fact, she was getting ready to go and make a layup and put the basketball in, and it would be the winning points for the team. And so she's running and running and running, and she's dribbling that ball, and as she goes up, she trips and falls, and she misses the basket, and her team lost. Yeah, I know, you laugh, but some kids, they were mad. They were mad at Harriet, and they started making fun of her, and they're called her Clumsy Harry, because her name's Harriet, and they were making fun of her and called her Clumsy Harry.
When that happened, I called her up, and
That is so nice of you.
I asked the coach to give her a free shot.
Well, that's good. Well, you guys, it was the same old story. Harriet was sitting by herself in the cafeteria. Things in her home was great, but things at school was just the same. Well, PBJ noticed that Harriet was sitting by herself, and she felt sad for her. In fact, she remembered what the teacher, the Sunday school teacher, had told them that Sunday before. And here's the scripture that she taught. It's found in Luke 10:27. Let me read it to you, okay? It says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself." Guys, these are the two great... Emily, don't do that.
What? I'm moving it.
No, you're not supposed to move it. These are the two great commandments in the Bible, is to love the Lord and love your neighbors. And PBJ was thinking about that. She's like, man, I need to love Harriet. I need to love my neighbors. And everybody loved PBJ. She was a nice person. She dressed well. Her parents took care of her. She had the light of Jesus in her life. But not everybody was showing the love to Harriet. So, hey, good boys, don't mess with that, okay?